Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain a beautiful story entitled Taro'S Reward. There are so many themes in the chapter, and one of the important themes of the chapter is hard work. We know that hard work is the key to success, and that hard work is the theme. The next theme that we come across is a child obedience and love towards his parents. We see that the main character loves his parents a lot. That's why he is he is rewarded at the end. We also know about the futility of greed. We know that the feeling of greed is not a good one. Greediness always takes man to its doom, to his doom. And the next theme that we will know in this story is that reward got by goodness and kindness is always good. In this, the main character has got goodness and kindness, and we will see that he is rewarded for this goodness and kindness of his. Let us know the story. The whole chapter is centered around Taro. Taro's Reward is a Japanese tale. The tale is taken from Japan of a loving and obedient son. So the tale is of Taro. He is a loving and obedient son. He is a woodcutter by profession. By profession, he is a woodcutter and he wants to keep his parents happy at any cost. Anyhow, at any cost, he wants to keep his parents happy, and that is his main quality. His earning is not much, he is not very rich. One day, his old father demands sake. This is not sake, S-A-K-E here, it is sake, it is an expensive drink in Japan. So his father demands sake to take because his father is old and he wants to keep himself warm. That's why his father demands sake. Taro said, he's sad for not having enough money to buy the drink. He's very sad. He's not happy at that time. Why? Because he is not able to fulfill the wish of his father. And he loved his parents a lot. He decides to work harder than before to earn more money because now he decides to give sake to his father. That's why he had to work harder than before. So, in order to get money, he worked hard to get money. Next morning, he woke up early. He wakes up early and he goes out to cut wood because it is his profession to cut wood. That's why he wakes up early and goes out because he wants to get sake for his father. Now, that day he works for long. From morning till noon, he works and he gets tired and he feels thirsty as well. He was perspiring and now he was thirsty and tired. And in this situation, he hears the sound of a waterfall nearby. He hears that the sound of a waterfall was there, and he thought that there must be a waterfall and he could quench his thirst there. He goes there, he goes to that waterfall, finds that there is sake flowing in the stream rather than water. And when he tried to take water, when he tried to drink water, he felt that there was not water gushing through the stream, but it was sake. He was really very happy. He brings the drink home and he gives that drink to his father, who is now very happy. And now the father is very happy because he has taken the drink, and Taro also was happy because he has fulfilled the wish of his father. And now the village people, they come to know about the drink. His father told them, Taro told them about the drink because Taro was a very sincere man. He was an honest person. He did not want to enjoy that sake by himself. That's why the news of sake was spread in the village. And he also gave those villagers sake that he brought there with him. Next morning, they come to the waterfall. Next morning, all the villagers having pitchers, having all types of pots that they had, they reached to that waterfall in order to fill those waterfalls with sake. And now this shows the greediness of those villagers. So before Taro, so many people were there near the waterfall. But when they taste water, they do not find any sake, but taste only cold water. But those people were greedy. That's why they did not get reward, the reward that Taro gets. Those people only gets only get water, cold water by that stream. They get angry, now they were angry, and they want to punish Taro. They thought that Taro was telling a lie. He told a lie to them, who was hiding somewhere. And Taro, he was looking at those villagers hiding somewhere near the place because he knew that the villagers can do anything. After the villagers have gone, Taro again tastes the water because he could not believe what people were saying. Taro himself enjoyed sake from that stream the previous day. For Taro's surprise, and when again Taro tasted the water, he got surprised. It is still sake flowing in the stream. He could enjoy sake there again. It is sake again flowing in the stream. The emperor hears the story of Taro and rewards him for his good qualities. And now we'll see in this chapter how Taro was rewarded by God because he only enjoyed sake from that stream, and he was rewarded by the king of Japan for his good qualities, for his goodness. Let us read the chapter. A young woodcutter named Taro lived with his mother and father on a lonely hillside. He would leave his parents on a lonely hillside. All day long he chopped wood. This was his profession. He was a woodcutter. He would cut wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned very little money. He was a hard worker. He worked hard, but he did not get much money. This made him sad. He was really sad. Not because he is getting less money, but he is sad for he was thoughtful son because he would think of his parents and he wanted to give his old parents everything they needed. This makes him sad. He was sad because he could not give whatever desired by his parents, because he could not earn much. That's why he was sad. One evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. It whistled through the cracks of the hut, and everyone felt very cold. Suddenly, Taro's father said, "I wish I had a cup of sake. It would warm me and do my old heart good." One evening, what happens? Taro and his parents, all of them were sitting there in their hut, at a corner of their hut, and then strong wind started to blow, started to move, started to come. And the wind was coming through the cracks, through the openings of the hut. It was really a cold wind, and everyone felt very cold, and all of them were feeling cold that day because of that wind. Suddenly, Taro's father said, and then Taro's father told that he wanted sake because he was feeling cold. He was an old person and he could not bear that cold. That's why he wanted to keep his heart warm because of the cold weather. He wanted to have sake to keep himself warm. This made Taro sadder. He became more sad. Why? Because he could not fulfill the wish of his parents. For the heart-warming drink called sake was very expensive. Why was he sad? Because the heart-warming drink that his father desired, called sake, that drink was very expensive. It was really costly. How do I earn more money? And then he thought, he did not say his father that he would not bring sake to him, but he thought how he could earn more money. He asked himself, how do I get a little sake for my poor old father? He decided to work harder than before. Then he decided to work harder to earn more money in order to buy sake to his father. Next morning, Taro jumped out of bed. He came out of bed earlier than usual. Usually, he would not wake up early or at that time, but that day, because he had already decided to earn more money, to work hard and earn more money to fulfill the wish of his father, and made his way to, and he went towards the forest in order to do work. He chopped and cut wood. He chopped and cut. He continued to do his work as the sun climbed, and now it was getting noon from morning. And soon he was so warm, and Taro was feeling very hot. He was so warm that he had to take off his jacket, and Taro had to pull off his jacket. He had to remove his jacket because it was getting warm. His mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat because he had been working for long. That's why his mouth was getting dry. He was thirsty at that time, and his face was wet with sweat, and he was perspiring. He was sweating. That's why he was now in need of water. My poor old father. But in this situation also, he was thinking of his father. He was not thinking of his condition, but he was thinking of his father only. He thought, if only tells wish. So he wished he was as warm as I. He wished that his father would also feel as warm as Taro was feeling that time. So, in this tired situation, also, Taro was thinking of his father. And with that, he began to chop even faster. Though he was tired, though he was perspiring, though his mouth was dry, still he continued to chop wood even faster, thinking of the extra money because he was to earn extra money, and in order to earn extra money, he had to work extra. He must earn to buy. He must earn. It was compulsion for him to earn much money so that he should buy sake to warm the old man's bones. He had to work hard in order to buy the drink to his father. Then suddenly, Taro stopped chopping. Suddenly, he stopped working. He stopped cutting the wood. What was the sound? And why did he stop cutting the wood? Because he could hear some sound. What was that sound? He heard. He heard some sound, and in order to hear the sound attentively, he stopped cutting wood. Could it be? Could it possibly be rushing water? So now writer was suggesting that it could be moving water, flowing water. Taro could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream in that part of the forest. He had never seen any stream here, or he had never heard of any stream rushing, moving along that part of the forest, though he had been there so often, but he had not seen or heard of any stream there. He was thirsty, he was tired, and he was thirsty. He wanted water. The axe that he was working with dropped out. He dropped his axe off his hands and he ran in the direction of the sound. Because he was thirsty, that's why he ran in the direction of the sound. He ran there in order to take water. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock, and when he reached there, he saw a beautiful little waterfall, and it was hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he cupped a little in his hands and put it to his lips. And when he saw that water was there, he knelt down. He sat onto his knees and he tried to make his hands or join his hands like a cup in order to take water from that stream to his mouth. So he tried to take that water. He tried to drink water. Was it water or was it sake? He tasted it again and again, and always it was the delicious sake instead of cold water. And when he tasted water so many times because the water was not tasting like water, it was tasting like delicious sake instead of cold water. That's why he drank that water so often. so many times. Taro quickly filled the pitcher, as Taro knew that the water was tasting like sake, or it was not water that was flowing there, it was the stream of sake. He had with him, he had got a pitcher, he had got a pot, and he had filled that pot with sake and hurried home, and he went home quickly. The old man was delighted. His father was happy with the sake. When he took sake, his father was really happy. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. So, what was the condition of his father? Earlier, when Taro reached home, his father was shivering, he was trembling, he was shaking with cold. But when he took a little swallow, when he took a small amount of sake, he was not feeling cold, and his father started to dance in the middle of the floor. So, this was the effect of that sake. And now the father was happy, so was Taro. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. That afternoon, a neighbor of Taro, he came to the house of Taro. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of the sake, and the visitor was given a cup of sake. The visitor was offered, she was given a cup of sake by the father because the father was enjoying. The lady, the neighbor that came, she drank sake greedily. The lady was really greedy, and she drank sake as if she was desiring more and more, and thanked the old man because sake was an expensive drink, and the lady could also not afford to have sake, and she was offered sake. That's why she was happy that time. Then Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Taro told her about whatever he experienced in the forest. And we should remember that Taro is really a very good person. He does not want to enjoy the sake by himself. He is an innocent person, and his innocence, his honesty really gives him a lot. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry, and that lady quickly left the place after thanking both of them. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village, and by nightfall, before it was night, she had spread the story of the experience of Taro to the village. So now every villager knew the story of Taro. That evening, there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house, and that evening, every villager came there in a procession. They were like a crowd, and they gathered and they came to the house of Taro. Each man heard the story of the waterfall because they would like to confirm the story. That's why they reached there to that woodcutter's house, to Taro's house, and took a sip, and everyone enjoyed sake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty, and Taro and his father, they did not show as if the sake belonged to them only. So kind hearted, so nice hearted Taro was. He wanted that everyone should enjoy that drink. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier because he knew that he could have sake there. So earlier than the previous morning, he woke up. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned. Now that morning he took a large pitcher, even larger or largest that they had. For and why he was having the largest pitcher? Because he wanted to go to the waterfall first and then do his work. When he reached it, what he sees? When he reached the place where the waterfall was, he found, to his great surprise, he was surprised when he visualized the scene, all his neighbors there. He saw that all his neighbors to whom he told the story, they were there. It means they were all greedy. They were carrying pitchers, they were carrying jars, they were carrying buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic sake. So those persons, they were not carrying only one thing. They were carrying whatever utensil, whatever pots they could manage, and they were there in order to fill those pitchers, jars, buckets with sake. Then knelt, one villager sat onto his knees. He held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. So he put his mouth under the waterfall in order to drink the sake. He drank again and again. He drank many times and then shouted angrily. And that villager who tasted the water, he was angry. Water? Nothing but water. He was angry because he could taste only water there in that stream. Other people also tried to taste, but there was no sake, only cold water. But everyone was tasting only water in that stream. We have been tricked, shouted the villagers. Where is Taro? Let us drown him in this waterfall. Now, as the villagers were not enjoying sake there from that stream, they were very angry. They told that they were cheated by Taro. They thought that Taro told a lie to them and they wanted to punish Taro by drowning him in the same waterfall. But Taro, he was really very intelligent person. But Taro had been wise enough. He was so wise that he did not come out of his hiding place. He was so wise to slip behind a rock when he saw how things were going. He was so wise that he hid himself behind a rock. He went behind a rock when he saw how things were going. When he saw what was happening there, he did not come out. He hid himself behind a rock. He was nowhere to be found, and the villagers did not find Taro there, and they had gone away. Muttering their anger and disappointment. They were muttering, they were angry, they were disappointed. They were angry at Taro because they thought that Taro told them a lie, and they were disappointed because they were expecting sake and they were not getting it. That's why, with anger and disappointment, they were muttering, they were grumbling. The villagers left the place one by one, and one by one they went away from there. Taro came out after everyone had left. He came out of his hiding place. Was it true? He wondered. He asked himself. He was surprised. He asked himself if it was true. Was the sake a dream? He was thinking if sake was a dream. that he had last night. Once more, he caught a little liquid. Once more, he cupped his hands and took some water and put it to his lips. It was the same fine sake. And again, when he tasted, it was sake for him. To the thoughtful son, and now he was full of thoughts. He thought what was happening there with him. The magic waterfall, it was a magic waterfall, and this waterfall gave the delicious sake. And this magic waterfall gave delicious, gave tasty, good sake to Taro only. To everyone else, it gave only cold water, and it gave only sake to Taro, but to everyone else, to each and every villagers, the waterfall gave water only, cold water only. And it was because the villagers were greedy, but Taro was a very simple person. He was honest, he was true, and he was a loving person. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached the Emperor of Japan. And the Emperor of Japan came to know about Taro and sake and the magic waterfall. He called the young woodcutter. He called he called Taro and rewarded him, and he also rewarded Taro with 20 pieces of gold. He gave Taro 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. And what did the king give him? 20 pieces of gold. And why? Because he was so good and so kind. His goodness and his kindness impressed everyone. Then he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro, and the fountain was named Taro. This, said the emperor, was to encourage. And why did he name that fountain Taro? Because he wanted every child of the city, every child of the kingdom to be like Taro. So he wanted to encourage all children to honor and obey their parents. He wanted that each and every child would follow the example of Taro. They would love their parents, they would obey their parents and be like him. That's why he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. So it was really a very good chapter. Let us know the moral, what we have learned from this chapter. The moral is that God always bless us if we are obedient to and take good care of our parents and elders. As Taro had done, he took good care of his parents. He was obedient to his parents. That's why he was blessed by God. That's why he enjoyed sake from that magical waterfall. And the next moral that we are getting, hard work is the key to success and happiness. He was hardworking, and because of that hard work, he got success. By hard work, one can get whatever one desires, and even nature helps such a person. So, what Taro wanted? Taro wanted sake for his parent, and because of his hard work, he got what he desired, and the nature also responded to him. Nature gave sake to Taro, just responding to the hard work, hard labor of Taro. We should always work hard to fulfill the wishes of our parents as Taro did. He was working hard not for himself alone. He was working hard just to fulfill the wishes of his parents. That's why he was rewarded by God and by the king as well. We cannot get anything by showing greed. And when we look to the villagers there, we can have the idea that greediness cannot give anything to anyone. Greediness will not serve any purpose. We cannot get anything by showing greed. As the villagers did not get sake, they only got water. The values like goodness, kindness, honesty, innocence, and hard work. So, all these values are shown by Tarot, and these values are always rewarded. So thank you for watching the video patiently. I hope you have understood the topic well. So like and share the video and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you with a new video on a new topic. Till then, bye.